The orbital station's observation deck offered a breathtaking view of Earth below, its blue marble surface dotted with swirling white clouds. Emma balanced her tray carefully as she navigated between tables, serving drinks to the various alien dignitaries who had gathered for the Galactic Council's Peace Summit. She had worked at Stellar Heights restaurant for 3 years now, long enough to recognize most species by their distinctive features and dietary requirements. Admiral Kael'thor of the Vexian Imperial Fleet sat at table 7, his crystalline skin refracting the starlight into prismatic patterns across the white tablecloth. He was alone, which was unusual for someone of his rank. Most high-ranking officers traveled with entourages, but the Admiral seemed to prefer solitude. Emma approached with his ordered Proxima cognac, noting the way his three-fingered hand trembled slightly as he stared out at Earth. "Your drink, sir," Emma said politely, setting the glass down. The Admiral didn't respond immediately. His large, opalescent eyes remained fixed on the planet below, and Emma noticed something she hadn't seen before, a tattoo on his inner wrist, visible as his sleeve had ridden up. It was a simple geometric design, 3 interlocking circles with a star at their center, rendered in bioluminescent ink that pulsed with a soft golden glow that Emma's breath caught in her throat. "That tattoo," she whispered, her tray nearly slipping from her hands. "My alien half-brother had that tattoo." Admiral Kael'thor's head snapped toward her with such speed that several nearby diners looked up in alarm. His crystalline face, normally so difficult to read, seemed to shatter into 1,000 expressions at once: shock, disbelief, hope, and something that might have been grief. "What did you say?" His voice, usually resonant and commanding, came out as barely more than a rasp. Emma set down her tray on the table, her professional composure forgotten. "The tattoo on your wrist. My half-brother Jason had the exact same one. He told me it was a Vexian military symbol, the mark of the Starblade Squadron." The Admiral rose slowly from his seat, towering over Emma's human frame. Around them, the restaurant had gone quiet. Even the soft ambient music seemed to have faded away. "Your brother's name was Jason?" Kael'thor asked, his accent thickening with emotion. "Jason Chinvex." "Yes." Emma's eyes were beginning to burn with unshed tears. "How do you know his name?" The Admiral's hand went to a pendant hanging around his neck, hidden beneath his formal military uniform. He pulled it out, a small, worn photograph preserved in a stasis field. It showed a young man, clearly of mixed heritage, with his mother's Asian features and his father's faintly crystalline skin tone. He was smiling, wearing a Vexian flight suit, his arm around the shoulder of a slightly younger Kael'thor. "Jason was my squadron mate," the Admiral said softly. "He was the finest pilot I ever flew with. He saved my life during the Battle of Kepler Station. When the antimatter cascade began, Kael'thor's voice broke. He pushed my ship clear and took the full force of the explosion himself." Emma had known her brother was dead. She had received the official notice 15 months ago, delivered by a stern-faced Vexian officer who offered the standard condolences and moved on. But she had never known the details. Jason's human mother, Emma's mother, had been told only that he died honorably in combat. The Vexian Empire didn't elaborate on battlefield deaths to civilian families, especially not to humans. "He never told me," Emma said, wiping at her eyes. "He never told me he had a squadron mate who was so important to him." "I was not important then," Kael'thor admitted, gesturing for Emma to sit. She did, forgetting entirely about her other tables. "I was a newly commissioned officer, arrogant and reckless. Jason was assigned to keep me alive. My father is a high chancellor, you see. It was supposed to be a simple protection detail." He smiled sadly. "But Jason had this way of making everyone around him better. He didn't just keep me alive. He taught me what it meant to truly lead, to care for those under my command. This tattoo," he touched his wrist. "We got these together after our first successful mission." He said that humans believe tattoos made memories permanent. Emma reached across the table and took the Admiral's hand, a gesture that would have been scandalous in most Vexian social circles. But Kael'thor didn't pull away. Instead, his crystalline fingers closed gently around hers. "He talked about you," the Admiral continued. "In the quiet moments between missions. He said he had a little sister back on Earth who was too smart for her own good, who wanted to see the stars but was afraid to leave their mother alone. He made me promise that if anything happened to him, I would find you. I would make sure you knew that he died protecting something he believed in. Then why didn't you? Emma asked, not accusingly, but genuinely curious. Because I am a coward, Kael'thor said simply. I have commanded fleets, faced enemy fire, made decisions that cost thousands of lives. But I could not bring myself to face you, to see Jason's eyes in yours and know that I lived because he did not. So I came here tonight, to look at Earth and remember him, and perhaps find the courage I should have had months ago. Emma squeezed his hand. He wouldn't want you to carry that guilt. Jason always said that every person makes their own choices. He chose to save you. That was his decision, his heroism. You honor him by living well, not by punishing yourself. The Admiral looked at this human woman, this sister of his fallen friend, and saw in her the same fierce wisdom that Jason had possessed. She was right, of course. Jason had always been right about such things. I have something for you, Kael'thor said, reaching into his uniform pocket. He pulled out a small data chip. Jason's personal logs. His messages to you that he never got to send. His stories, his hopes, his memories. I have been carrying them, waiting for the right moment. I think, perhaps, this is that moment. Emma took the chip with trembling hands, clutching it to her chest like the precious treasure it was. Thank you, she whispered. No, Admiral Kael'thor said, rising to his full height and offering her a formal Vexian salute, the one reserved for honored warriors. Thank you for giving the galaxy Jason, for sharing your brother with us. He made us all better than we were. As Emma walked back to the kitchen, the data chip safely in her pocket, she looked up through the observation windows at the stars beyond. Somewhere out there, Jason had lived and fought and died. But he had also loved and been loved in return. And that, Emma realized, was more than most people ever achieved in a lifetime. Behind her, Admiral Kael'thor sat back down, his cognac untouched, his eyes on Earth. But for the first time in 15 months, the weight on his crystalline shoulders felt just a little bit lighter at the end.